This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I'm your host, Gianna, and today super excited for this episode to see where it goes. I've got Jackson Wilkey with the Panel Junkies. I've seen him at so many different conferences and gotten to interact just a little bit, so I'm excited for some one-on-one time to actually get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely, and you can use me selfishly for your own goals for YouTube, so go ahead.
Perfect. Well, Jackson, go ahead and give the listeners a little bit of background about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you grow up to be a real estate agent and YouTuber?
So I've got a book coming out soon, and it's all audio because I'm the shittiest writer of all time. I can't write to save my life. So it's a crazy story, and not like to sit there and talk about me and where I'm from, but like the whole way that this YouTube for real estate thing has been carved out, and we've taught thousands of agents. It started because of some crazy leap of faith, like to leave my hometown of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Hayden Lake, Idaho. And because I was a blue collar ass worker, ranch worker, moved to Portland, got into sales for escrow. I mean, I went from building power lines to now trying to help real estate agents get business. And so it was a crazy transition. And they said, you know, every real estate agent everywhere I went was just talking video. So this is like 2018-ish. And just every, my goal was to help agents. And so everybody was just talking video. It was all the rave, and I knew nothing about it. So I got this like $200 MacBook, and I'm a storyteller. So you can ask me one thing. I'll probably go for an hour.
This is what a podcast is for, Jackson. Go in.
Yeah. I got this MacBook. In fact, as a recent, I gave it to my niece, but it was like $200 off eBay. And so I started just shooting and editing videos and stuff. And I was like, this is about 5-6 months into doing the escrow stuff. I had a good personality. I could get in front of people, but just like handing out pens and paper just sucked. So I was like, I wanted to really start teaching agents. I started realizing, anybody who kind of rules the stage, rules the room type stuff. And I was always bringing people into these real estate offices to speak. And I'm like, I want to start doing that. So I started getting obsessed with video, and I started teaching classes actually on just how to shoot and edit videos. It was kind of crazy. So 7 months in, I ended up meeting Jesse, who's still my business partner to this day, Jesse Dow. And he was in his first year of real estate, did 12 million, crazy, just successful business, And after like 11 months, I was like, man, I'm on the wrong side of this shit. Like I'm helping some old gal who's 70 turn on her computer, and she did like 3.5 million in sales. And I'm doing the math, like that's damn near $100,000. That's more than I'm making. And so, that was it. And long story short, I got my ass kicked just really hard in real estate. Thought it would be easy. I've always excelled at everything. And basically, I mean, that's what I talk about in the book. It was 12, 14 months of pain and misery. And I shot thousands and thousands of videos, and I bought courses that these digital marketers and these agents, sell about getting views and followers. And it's all fluff. It's all bullshit. It's all for glitz and glam, and none of it pays. So when you're dead broke, no money, wife, couple kids, and you got to really dig in. And I ended up running across a gal named Karen Carr, and I love just always giving, my flowers to her. She was doing some YouTube for real estate stuff. And I just like, I interviewed her, and she brought up some amazing stuff. The one thing I asked her was like, do you get business from this? Cause I was so leery. Mm-hmm. I've been going a year plus, thousands of videos, Digital Mayor, Gary V, all these influencers, and nothing worked, no phone calls. So, she said, yeah, I'm closing some deals today. Her way of doing YouTube was just, after a few months, it was just not my style, talking real estate and escrows and inspections and that kind of stuff. But it kind of creaked that door open a little bit. And then I went insane, and I became an actual just like YouTuber and understood the data analytics, metadata, click-through rates. And now I mean, I've shot thousands of YouTube videos. I've created 13 channels across the country. We're nearing 400 home sales, and that's basically in just over 2.5 years. So I traveled the country starting these channels, and I've also, with the Channel Junkies, I've been documenting it for 3 years. So everything I give away for free, I've got 500 videos. I go live every week. I've got a podcast, the Channel Junkies podcast, where I just daily answer everybody's questions, and it's just blown up. It's all for free because I love this more than anything, and I just can't believe it. So that's kind of the long story to it.
No, that's awesome. It was only like 5 minutes. That's not even a long story. That's a great base to get the rest of this story, Jackson, because so many people are looking at ways to expand, and EXP offers opportunity to be in multiple states, and so a lot of people out there are looking to take advantage of that. But before we get there, your background, how did you get involved with EXP? Where's that transition in your life, and how did it go? What was that process like?
So everybody's got their story and their reason why. And the crazy thing is we started now. I created that Living in Portland, Oregon channel. Now there's thousands of these living in channels across the country because I've taught it, right? And it was starting to really gain momentum. Both A, we were actually closing deals, but B, like I was starting to get a lot of kind of attention out there from real estate agents. And at the time we were at Next Home Realty Connection, and I loved my broker, and that's kind of like, I talked to, we have 500-600 agents who've gotten into our downline at EXP now, and that's usually everybody's hardest thing is that relationship. And so I loved my broker. We drank beers together. He had the coolest office with 2 beer taps. He was just cool, But as this like YouTube thing started going, Jesse's like 100% business mind. It's just all business. Like that's what it boils down to. We wanted to start helping agents expand into other markets. And when he went and asked Next Home, like, hey, how do we do this? They're like, well, you have to own the franchise, and you have to own the franchise and hire a managing broker in each city. And we're like, that's like 100,000. That's ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. That was his opinion. My opinion was like, I'm doing this YouTube thing. I keep going to my broker, and I'm like, hey, dude, just you're best friends with the owner of the company. Like maybe get me up on a stage or something. Like people want to hear this YouTube thing. I'll give it for free, and it's going to help you attract agents. And he just was like, no, it's dumb. Like you really need to focus on the traditional stuff. That's what's going to build you a really good book of business. Like, this YouTube thing's a flash in the pan, man. You need to get, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, so my whole reasoning, and it was just in this turmoil time of like expansion growth. And then what happened was we were getting reached out to by all these just shitty agents. I'll just be honest. And they just didn't do any production. And they just like, they would just hit us up with this revenue share thing, which we were like, that's a pyramid scheme. That's stupid. Right. And that's all they said. They're just going to do that and never have to do real estate and get rich. And so we hated it. We were nothing to do with it. But I started noticing some top influencers going that way who I was kind of watching. And I'm like, why are they going there? First of all. And second of all, when they go there seems to be this trajectory of brand that seems to follow, and that was just kind of, so Jesse was like expansion business side of it. I was like, hey, I kind of want to get up on these stages, get my name out there. And once we learned and started talking to real agents who were doing like, $1 billion in sales a year or running massive marketing teams, and they were telling us what we could do not only nationally but across the world. Mm-hmm. It was a no-brainer. And then it was just one cap. So yeah, you mentioned agents want to get into other markets and they want to expand. Well, you got to go to brokerages in 2 different states. You got to pay multiple caps. It's a mess, right? And so this is just one cap, and we could go anywhere we wanted to in the entire world, and it made sense. So we jumped over. And I'll never forget, like my first 10 days, I got put on to like 7 or 8 of the biggest podcasts that there are, period. And it took us to a whole new level. And it was like, holy crap. Everybody at EXP was like, nobody was holding secrets. And I got onto a podcast and they're like, hell yeah, you're part of the team. Here, I got 3 connections for you, dude. And like before we even hung up, it was like another podcast. And I was just like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is sick. So that's kind of how it all went. And it was just, I mean, it 10x'd our, not only our real estate or our YouTube business, but the real estate business. I mean, we got out of production. We 5x'd literally that year. It was a big move.
Absolutely. That's insane. And crazy story, where it's as a lot of people think is just a pyramid scheme to start. And Jackson, now that you're over at EXP and you've been exposed to a lot of the benefits, collaboration, stock options, rev share, the community, what's one of your favorite parts about it, or something that maybe you didn't expect about EXP that now you really enjoy?
Well, the rev share is like a real deal, and it is amazing. I mean, I don't know if we're talking numbers on this podcast, but like, I'm a blue collar kid from North Idaho, worked so fucking hard, dude. Left my kids all the time to go work holidays and nights and weekends as a lineman, fixing power lines, and traveled the like. I never would have imagined making what I make in a month off revenue share, and that's the kind of sickening part about it. Is like that's what's get thrown out there. It's a pyramid scheme, and it's like no. My broker, who I had this incredible relationship at my last brokerage, he got all that cap, and the company got. Nobody else saw that, and so we never got like. There was like a top agent there, but she was top because she sold all the new construction homes, and she was just like chin up to the air. I'm the greatest, and like other than that, it was just a bunch of people in an office that were not. And I got to a point, honestly, before I started selling stuff, like it was just our comfort zone. We could all kind of go in there and bitch and moan.
Mm.
And then you get over here to EXP, and yes, the revenue share is a real viable income, but it's not like the focal point. Neither Jesse or I got into it for that reason. It was all expansion and growth and surrounding ourselves with people doing things that we wanted to do and get that for free. The most shocking thing ever is just, man, some of these rooms that you sit in and get invited to, and there's not one secret kept. Even if you're not in my downline, like I have gone and taught for these different, lines and vice versa. And you sit with some big people that really are doing big things. And so, I mean, we've helped, like I said, almost 500 people in our organization come over, and every one of them is just like, I can't believe this. Like,
Wow.
what value,
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's incredible. EXP offers a different model. And like you said, once the big influencers got here, that success left breadcrumbs. And now I believe we're quickly approaching 84,000 agents.
Mm-hmm. I know. We
So,
started like 2 years ago, I think, and it was at like 20 something thousand.
mhm.
And that's something everybody says, oh, I've missed the boat. It's like, no, they're going to get to 1 million. So it is a baby fraction of what's coming. And with a massive exodus, I think, with this market squeezing a bunch of agents out and then a bunch of new ones coming, it's like prime for the, if you've got some kind of asset and skill that you can help other agents grow their business, there's zero reason on planet Earth why you shouldn't be leveraging that out to not only help you with an additional revenue stream and stock, but now you get to actually help these people and blow up their business. There's no better feeling on planet Earth. I mean, I've been giving this YouTube stuff away for free forever, and I love it. People take it and they change their life. But the majority of them need help, and I have courses and training. But if you partner with me, I give all that to you for free. If you go out and build this massive team and close all these deals, I get paid through the brokerage, not you. So that's the cool part about it.
Absolutely. No, it really is a cool part about it. And it's what differentiates it from a lot of the other brokerages out there.
Yep.
And Jackson, earlier you touched on how your previous job was taking you away from the family on holidays, very demanding of you. So now that you're in a different realm, a different industry, how do you value that work-life balance? Where do you draw the line between work and play and balancing family and business and avoiding burnout?
I
The
almost feel
chuckle.
bad saying it, but like I have more balance now than sometimes I feel bad, and I do come from a life of union work and clock in work. Like you couldn't start work a minute early, you couldn't leave a minute, early type stuff. You couldn't start a minute late, leave a minute early. So sometimes I just sit in my office because I'm like, I don't have anything to do, but I'm bred to work from 6 to 4:30 or whatever. But it is, and we got blessed when we came over. One of our upline members was Chuck Fazio, and he ran the biggest independent brokerage in the entire country, doing $2 billion in sales annually. So like, create more than most brokerages, combined. He was doing it, and we started interviewing him, and just like, look, we've got all this YouTube business coming in, and we're closing it. He's like diving into our business, and the first thing he looks at, he's like, you guys, I was already out of production because I'm the shittiest realtor ever. Like I'm terrible, but Jesse was in it because he's the best, right? And that's what real estate agents have in their mind, says like, well, it's my business, it's my clients, I'm the best, I have to close it. And that's how Jesse was too, because our partnership was, okay, I'm going to focus on the videos and the business coming in, he's going to close it. And we could only get to a certain amount of production. 12, 14 million was maxed, and then he was maxed out. So that's a lot of business we were leaving on the table. And Chuck said, you got to get out of production. You need to, we started incorporating these systems, processes, automations, leveraging a shitload of VAs through Sphere Rocket. And we went from that 12, 14 million to 50 million that year. So we learned quickly we have to get out of production. And so your work-life balance really starts opening up when you can start leveraging, other people, and especially virtual assistants. So, I mean, you're not going to catch me working a weekend, except for I might check my phone or something, because I just whatever. But like, usually by 3:00 I'm done. I kind of just book my stuff about 10 to 2 or 3, and I've gotten good at batch shooting. So I mean, I got 13 channels, but I've learned how to shoot all my videos basically in a couple hours. I'm always 3-4 weeks ahead, and yeah, it's the balance is incredible. And then when you have those additional streams of revenue via stock and revenue share and stuff like that, like, you don't have to take 100% of these commissions. You can really start giving very valuable commission splits to your agents, more than just the traditional 25. Be better than that, and earn your money through the revenue share program.
Absolutely. No, that's great advice, Jackson. And that rev share program, I mean, I have met agents that make a ridiculous amount of money every month
Yep.
with that rev share program. And some big time names that really they wouldn't have to sell another house in their life, and they would still be doing really well with just that rev share. But obviously that's not the mindset that a lot of our icon agents have. They like to hit the ground running and hit that production, and that's the type of person that EXP attracts to, is a
Yeah,
self-starters. And
95% of the agents at EXP don't even recruit. So everybody thinks it's just you have to come here and recruit.
yeah.
Only 95%, or only like 5%, are really doing any kind of attraction. And I don't mean that as like, oh, well, you're not going to make it. It's just
Mhm.
if there's now 80,000 agents, there's 60,000 that came in the last 2 years, and they're staying,
Mhm.
and they're not having to recruit, but they're staying in their business. Like, that means that there's some sort of value proposition there that's keeping them, and they can't leave. So it's the organization that you join will make or break your success at EXP. So I would say 95% of the people that leave EXP, they joined one of these recruiters who has
Mhm.
zero value to give, and they give, honestly, EXP a terrible name. And if there's no value given there, sometimes we just join because it's a friend or something like that, then you're going to be stuck on an island, because it is all
Right.
virtual. But there are some organizations you can get into to where, yeah, you get a full-fledged, marketing team helping you, and real estate team helping you take your business to the next level, because we're incentivized to do so.
Right. Yeah, and it is important, who is in your upline, and you want to know who your sponsor is and what kind of community you're going to be surrounded with, because the only thing that's consistent in this industry is change. So you want people that you can lean into and learn from and be
Right.
held accountable from. Like you said, you could be stuck on an island. And Jackson, let's talk a little bit about production on your end. So you've got a couple different markets, but the cool thing about EXP is you can be in multiple states and still have the one cap.
Yep.
So, what does that average housing price look like for you, and how many houses do you need to be able to sell to cap?
So this is a tricky question to me, because I'm 100% referral based.
Okay.
Our YouTube channels last year produced, it was just under 175 million. It was like 174 or something. So I got channels from Seattle, Washington to the Florida Keys and everywhere in between. So I mean, some markets are, like Seattle, it's like average price points $1 million plus, and then I live in Houston now. I just moved to Houston, and I mean, the average housing here is, probably in the 200, 300 range. The beautiful thing about YouTube is that no matter what market we're in, our average sales price is typically like 50% higher than the market. So, in Portland, our lender ran the numbers for us last year, and on average, our client that came through. Now, this lender 100% just works with our team, because the YouTube clients are the best. Our average price point was like, I think 657,000,
Wow.
and the average credit score was 762, and the average down payment was 17%. That market's probably in like the 400 range, 500 range. So we're considerably higher here in Houston. Yeah, I think we're probably in the 500 plus 600 range. And every single market, multiple $1 million homes being sold. So, I mean, luxury, you name it. But I don't know, because we have so many channels and there's so many homes being closed that I can't tell exactly what price point, because I'm in 11 different, states. So
That's awesome. It's such a cool model that you've built up from the ground.
but I am an
basically,
icon
Jackson.
agent 2 years in a row without closing one deal, which means I get my $16,000 that I paid in back in stock. So yeah, that if you want to build a referral system, you still can be an icon agent like I am, and which I've done 2 years, my 2 years in a row. And yeah, I don't even answer phones.
Yeah, just yet another great example of a business model that you can make with EXP and that flexibility. So that's super cool. A great example. Jackson, now I bet I can guess the answer to this, but I'll let you go into it. Your cultural commitment, right? So you have to take a step back and give back to EXP, teach, coach, mentor, vet other icons, whatever you can do. Now there's like a new point system. So you can do a couple of different things. But what is your cultural commitment and why?
Coaching.
I knew it. I knew
that. Yeah, I do that. I love it. And I mean, it's just what I'm made for. So, it's a virtual campus, as you've probably explained on this podcast. And I have my little avatar, and I walk up on stage and I teach. And I mean, sometimes there's 100 and 150 people in there, and I get to just teach. I give it away in there. I give it away on my YouTube channel, and I teach people, not just YouTube. What I like to do is just expressed through these 6 classes that I do through EXP, is how to be on video, what we need to do and change our marketing from, hi, my name's Jackson Wilkey, the best realtor ever, to like actually opening up videos, answering consumers' questions like, hey, this market's a little crazy. Interest rates are through the roof. What does this mean for you? Is this an awful time to buy and sell? That's what we're talking about today. So now it's like, holy shit, I was just thinking about that. You just answered my question. Now I've got your attention. But when we open up talking about ourselves, like we were taught as agents, it can really kill you. So yeah, I teach. My cultural commitment is just teaching those 6 classes. And that's what EXP is all about too, is there's 150 live classes a day from icon agents. So you're only learning from agents who have capped plus done their 20 plus additional deals. It's the best of the best teaching classes every day.
Absolutely. That's something that I love about EXP, requiring that cultural commitment for the other half of your cap, because again, that's what top 2.5%, only about 2,400 agents that are teaching in the world, giving back. So that continuous learning process is not just, just any Joe Schmo up
Title
there.
rep like I used to be.
So it makes a difference. You want to know that much. And that's just another thing you can count on when coming over to EXP. And Jackson, for somebody that's not very heavily into production, you're into the YouTube channel and teaching and coaching. So the Icon Award comes with a lot of benefits, right? You have the opportunity to go to shareholders and EXP Con, and you get to earn that cap back in stock, a nice big shiny glass trophy. So in your case, it's a little different, right? So it's a goal to Icon every year, but it's kind of just coming to you. I don't want to say naturally, but organically through how your reach and stuff like that. So why do you want to keep iconing, and like how is that a different kind of goal for you compared to agents that are mainly focused on production, if that question makes sense?
No, it does. The icon to me didn't really seem like anything I would care about. Production has never been like a thing for me. I'm a video focused guy and bringing in the business. But when you do get that trophy, and then you actually see physical amounts of money go into your bank account from it, it's like, to me, I'm not like this money hungry dude, but I'm like, that's this like additional wealth that's sitting there. Each and every year, I used to pay into these caps just to be friends with the broker. Like literally, I loved that broker. And so paying a cap went there, and I never saw it again. So for me, it's like, I can build out systems, and not only me, but now I can train other agents. My favorite is the agents who partner with us, and we take their business and 10X it, just like our partners above us did. And they icon, and they get their stock back, and they get to celebrate it. So sometimes, and then, you get, you get invited to some of the upper echelon stuff, and then you just get to surround yourself with all the best of the best, giving it away too. So I probably have a different answer than most. I'm not like this production hungry guy, and I know mine's coming every year, but yeah, it's a physical dollar. I got 3 kids as well, 10, 7, and 2. So my whole thing, dude, and I'll get like choked up, is just setting them up. You never know what can happen, but my revenue share, which is growing every month, it's never going away. It's willed to my kids. My stock willed to my kids. So like I'm setting them up, which is the only thing that I truly care about. So Icon for me just means more money for them down the road, or if something were to happen to me.
Yeah, leaving the legacy for the family.
Yeah.
That's the incredible thing that EXP offers. And also, you have an exit strategy now. So you're not, for most, you're not going to have to be opening up houses when you're 90 years old, right? So that's pretty cool opportunity as well.
Mhm.
And Jackson, my next question is going to be for somebody that is coming over to EXP and they are either a rookie or they're from another brokerage and they see this Icon Award, right? It's going to be a little different than, you having advice um, to hit that production and stuff like that. So what are some ways they can promote themselves, video ideas to kind of get that going and start some lead generation?
For like real estate business or for attracting
I guess
agents?
probably real estate business because they want to hit Icon, right? Theoretically,
Yep.
somebody's approaching you, hey Jackson, how do I hit Icon in my first year?
Yep.
What's some advice for them or major mistakes to avoid when going to, video marketing and
Yeah.
everything that you specialize in?
So really, I mean, it's going to boil down to a few things here. One is building your brand. And that word gets thrown around so much. It's actually disgusting, but because we don't know what our brand is, but it's crazy to me now looking at it that my brand is me. So, I mean, you can see me now. If the podcast came, I mean, I'm backwards hat, t-shirt, I'm wearing Crocs. Like I am this on camera. I talk about exactly what I like and what I don't like. I am from North Idaho. I'm a red Republican hunting fool, dad loving, beer guzzling dude. And I talk about that shit on repeat. And I get literally hundreds of reach outs of people saying, can't wait to get in town, want to buy you a brewski, can't wait to go hunting there.
Oh, cool.
We got a budget of 800,000. So it's a you allowing yourself to just open up and be yourself. I had a gal I was coaching and she was following our ways and the channel metrics, we're growing in a sense, but very slow. And I don't coach up on like systems and processes and magical buttons and shit. I coach you on you. And so I really get into people and unearth who they are. And she started talking about like, I was listening to her stuff and it was factual data. So number one is get rid of factual data and information.
Mhm.
Right now, if you were moving here to Houston, and I started doing market updates and average prices, do you give 2 shits? You're just trying to figure out where the hell do I live and who can I trust?
Mhm.
That is it at the end of the day. In this market with interest rates flying through the roof, we don't want people talking about how it's the greatest time in history to buy right now for buyers. And hey, look back in 1982, the interest rates were 14%. It's like, I don't give a shit about 82. I wasn't born. That does not mean anything to me. So you have to brand yourself. Today is today. You talk about what's going on today and you talk about it truthfully and honestly with the opinions that you have. And you're going to piss off half the world and half the world's going to love you. And that is the way that marketing happens. You're not going to appease everybody. I have Facebook groups against me. People have called me everything under the sun, but we've closed 400 homes. You're not going to, appease people. And that's what makes marketing so special, because people go, well, there's already someone doing video or doing that. You're not that person. You have a different personality. So all the people that think I'm big, tall, annoying, and loud, they don't call me. They hate me. They comment in my comments. But then you are more, laid back, more calm, more quiet. They resonate with you better, right? I talk about being a lineman from Idaho, hunting, fishing, and damn straight, who do I get calling me? People who like that.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out, or any part in your marketing efforts, I don't care if it's video or blog writing or podcasting, it's got to be about you. Your opinions matter, your stories matter. And it's funny because I've got 500 videos teaching YouTube for real estate. And then I do a podcast as well. It's Channel Junkies YouTube for real estate. And I switched from doing this kind of like higher end, and I'm almost talking to you about this, like higher end production, to just literally I turn the phone on and I talk into it. I'm cussing. I'm walking down the street. There's like snakes running across the road. I get hit in the eye with a weed eater. My download, they 15x'd. I went from like 400 downloads a month to 4,000 to 6,000 to 8,000 the last 3 months. Raw, uncut, unedited, truthful opinions. You either like it or you don't. And it just works. So you're like right now with the market shifting, I would be popping onto Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want every day. I love YouTube because that's where buyers go to search out information. But I would be just brutally honest with what's going on right now. It's not an opportune time. Interest rates are crazy, but at the same time, you're actually getting to shop more now. Investors are gobbling up properties like you wouldn't believe by the dozens. So if they're doing it, it's obviously means it's a good time because they're getting these properties undervalued and they'll refi them in a couple of years. When like, just be honest about it, but have calls to action in your marketing at all times, at the beginning and the end. Call me. If a doctor says, hey, I just had a patient in and they were doing this or eating this kind of food and it was messing with their heart. They were having some heart issues or, hey, you're having some back issues. Usually it's typically this and that. Go ahead and call me anytime if you have that problem. We're like, hell yeah, doc.
Yeah.
But real estate agents, we don't do that. We talk about how great we are. Hi, I'm the greatest realtor ever. It's like, no. Dude, this market's crazy as shit right now. Interest rates are flying through the roof. Houses, I mean, what's this market? Look, I am the real estate doctor. Just give me a call. This is my job. I love it. Days, nights, weekends, even if you're not going to buy or sell, like you have those questions. So, have those calls to action in there and own who you are and stop talking about how great you are, but answer those consumers' questions.
Absolutely. And, you made some great points here. The honesty, obviously some people are going to hate you. You're not going to win that battle in life ever. But the ones that love you are probably the ones that you want to work with anyway, right? You're going to have a better connection. You're going to be more relatable. They're going to be the people that know, like, and trust you, and, leads to more successful business and just all around, just be yourself, because people aren't buying EXP. They're not buying, whatever you call your brand or team. They're buying you. At the end of the day, it's just you. So Jackson, my next question is going to be, were you ever skeptical of EXP? You kind of touched on it earlier, but what were your, first thoughts on that? And, why did that go through your head? Was it influenced by other brokers? Was that just a theory that you and Jesse formulated when you were kind of shooting the shit and trying to figure out what the best move was for you guys? What did that thought process look like when you first heard of EXP?
Yeah, first heard about it. A dude called us up and took us to lunch, and that was his pitch was just, he kind of started on the right path of like, hey, I got a video studio, you can come use it. And then he immediately went to this revenue share program, and Jesse, just being open to all business, was like, tell me about it. So he kind of started explaining it, and he was just like, dude, I'm not even doing real estate. I'm quitting. I'm just going to attract all these agents. I'm making revenue share. I'm quitting. And then that message just kept getting poured. We were getting cold called and phone call. And it was just over and over about the revenue share. And it's awful, man. Because it's not what the picture is inside of EXP with the top percent. Now it does happen. That's the problem. You hear it all the time, but if you get into the right organization, it's amazing. So I was super skeptical because there was a lot early on of Facebook posts about like massive in big real estate groups about like, it's the greatest brokerage. And and it was like this cat war. And if you know anything about me, I hate confrontation. I'm too nice of a guy. Like, I hate it. So that was one of my big deterrents, was just like this animosity of going. I felt like if I go there, I'm going to be called this, whatever, this trash bag. So it was more just of like I wasn't looking at it as the benefits of what it could give me. It was just the people that were trying to recruit me and trying to attract me, and the fights I was seeing online. I was just like, good Lord, I don't want nothing to do with this. But again, we got with the right people. They weren't trying to sell us. They just got in, analyzed our business, said, this is what we can do to help you. Like, and here's your opportunities with your, since you guys can teach stuff, man, you have a massive opportunity to influence people. You're going to get hated on a lot. That's fine. But you will get people who come in and want to work with you directly, and you'll get to help them. And that's the best part. And so when I get to help people, I'm all in.
All in. That's awesome. And Jackson, for somebody that's maybe on the edge about joining EXP, they don't know how to break up with their broker. Maybe they have a really cool broker like you used to, and they really, get along with them, but they realize how much money they're leaving on the table with no opportunity at all to get that cap back or to kind of explore different options the way that you are. You're not a full-time real estate agent. You are a full-time video guy, and you're still reaping the benefits of being a real estate agent. So how would you convince somebody to come over to EXP sooner? Or if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself and Jesse about making the move over here and why?
Yeah, you always say like, oh, I should have went a year ago because of, but you can't. There's no perfect time except for whenever you make that decision. And so you can't ever wish to go back. But your first topic about the broker, like, it's unfortunate because I've now helped, I think in our front line, we have probably between Jesse and I, like 100 frontline agents. So with that broker things come up a lot. And the almost scary part is I would say 30-40% of these people, so 30-40 agents have had brutal, like knockdown, drag out conversations with the broker. And the only thing that tells me is that you're taking money out of that broker's pocket and they are pissy about it. So if that's the way they feel about you, they're going to throw a fit, then they're not looking out for your best interest. They are looking out for theirs, right? And so that's the one thing. Now, that means a good portion, 50-60% of brokers have great. No, I'm all for you. You wouldn't believe some of them are like, no, my broker was cool. Like they wish me luck, So it's like having that conversation with people is all about, and this is why you need to interview multiple agents at EXP. Don't just choose one and go. Like interview, because now you can go to that broker and say, look, I really want to grow my business with YouTube and video. And there's this guy out there who's doing it. He gives coaching for free, his training for free. I get to go every other week and coach for free on his team. He's doing I don't even really want to be in production. He teaches how to get out of it. It's all free. I just feel for me, my family, for my kids, for my wife, for my husband, for my boyfriend, for my girl, for my dog, that this is the best situation for me. I can't thank you enough. So it's like, you need to be able to go there and give your broker an honest opinion of why, not just, hey, I'm leaving EXP to make, it's just like, this person is exactly where I want to take my business. And they're going to teach me that. So, and that's just it. You got to look out for you at the end of the day.
Absolutely. You've got to have that loyalty to yourself because that broker, unfortunately, doesn't have any loyalty to you. And I think you'll find that out if you ask them for the opportunity to earn that cap back because they're going to laugh at you. So, Jackson, are you going to be at EXPCon?
No, I signed up for the virtual event. I think I went to the last one.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll be in Atlanta next week. I don't know when this goes live, but
no, you're fine. So, Jackson, I guess, to wrap it up today, how do people get involved with you? Whether, they want to join one of your teams or just get started on some coaching with you. What does that process look like in reaching out to you, and where does it all begin? Maybe they're a little intimidated. You're kind of the bomb.com. So
no.
how do they reach out?
I got three easy. If you're just like, hey, I got to talk to this guy, info@jacksonwilkey.com is my email, but I want to send you right away to just my free content. So Channel Junkies YouTube for real estate on YouTube. And then my favorite thing now as of lately is go to any podcast platform you have, Spotify, Apple, and type in Channel Junkies YouTube for real estate. And you'll see my podcast there where I'm doing these daily walk and talks. And I am answering questions. So people email me their questions and then I answer them walking down the road on my morning walk. And the downloads have 15x'd on that. So people love it. Go listen to those podcasts. And I talk a lot of psychology behind marketing and your marketing efforts too. It's not just like this rigid YouTube thing.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to check it out myself as the Icon podcast continues to grow and we branch out into YouTube. So if you guys are kind of like me, just getting started, definitely a great episode to check out. Reach out to Jackson. He just gave you all the info to do so. And Jackson, thank you so much for your time. Anything you want to leave the listeners with today?
Just like be you on camera, 100% unapologetically yourself. And I promise you will attract your ideal clients. They're better than referrals. Trust me.
That's awesome. I want to write that down. I'll find a pen. But Jackson, thank you so much for your time today. And it's been an honor talking to you and looking forward to seeing you at one of these next upcoming events.
Hell yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, Jackson. Bye.
Yep.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.